Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Marvel Future Revolution, or should I say Marvel Future Fight? I guess it's going to end up in both playlists because what we're going to be looking at here is a continuation from my last video, I guess, or my last trilogy of videos, the good, the bad, and the ugly of Marvel Future Fight, and reviews of Kraken Null's thing. And it's kind of easy because we can do it with Doctor Strange. So when I talked about the game yesterday, I know probably some of it seemed doom and gloom, especially because you're literally doing the good, the bad, and the ugly, and two trumps one. And at first glance, it seems like there might not be a lot of good in the game, but I did leave in that last bit the conversation about potential. And I want to use Marvel Future Fight as reference for that because I really do feel like Marvel Future Revolution is kind of like Marvel Future Fight 2.0. And I'll kind of explain that in some regards. So let's start off here with taking a look at what we have inside Marvel Future Revolution for character models in terms of Doctor Strange. I've got him equipped in some of the Sakaar gear because I like the Sakaar look a lot. Over here to the right of the screen, gotta love those unstable networks. Over here to the right of the screen, I've got Doctor Strange in his spacesuit. We actually have the spacesuit costume inside of we have the spacesuit costume inside of Marvel Future Revolution as well. So there's a lot there to be had. Let's also unpack that the fact that inside Marvel Future Fight, we've got about 4 costumes for Doctor Strange. We've got his movie costume from Infinity War. We even got his Doctor Strange costume from the Doctor Strange movie, which I don't own. It wasn't worth purchasing. And then we even have the all new, all different Doctor Strange, which was just, yeah. That was the base model for basically how he came into the game. Wasn't a good look at all, right? Yeah, thank you so very much for that, Rocket. So if we go inside my inventory over here, or like for instance right now I want to look at the costumes of the heroes, so I'm going to go inside my hero info so that way I can look at some of the customization options. And underneath customization, you'll see that I have themes, right? And underneath those themes, I can basically select on the spacesuit uniform theme right here, and you can see that, yeah, spacesuit's kind of there, right? It's there. It's not a one-to-one replica, but it looks something like it, right? It looks a little bit something like it, I guess. It's not a bad look either way, however you choose to look at it, right? Oh, wait a minute. I'm in the wrong one. That's New Stark City. Ho, ho, ho. Wrong uniform. I'm an idiot. Excuse me. Where's his spacesuit? Where is his spacesuit? There we go. That's the spacesuit one. So here we go. So if you look at that uniform, looks pretty similar to the one in Marvel Future Fight, right? Pretty damn close if you ask me. So why do I bring up Doctor Strange inside here? So what I want to look at with Doctor Strange in terms of the game is I want to do a comparison for you guys. Basically, there's no skill preview inside of Marvel Future Revolution the way there is inside Future Fight, other than this little small window here, which doesn't seem to always work. But if I was to go inside Doctor Strange, for instance, now it's a little bit different inside Marvel Future Fight because basically when we initially had the character of Doctor Strange and he came into the game in his all new, all different uniform. So if I equip that, for instance, and I went in and looked at his skills, the uniforms change. They're a little bit different. So what I mean by that is, like, let's take a look at these. So first of all, first and foremost is that you have a character that has skill sets, and you can see like he has, I'm going to go to skill preview on his original design, and you'll be able to see that he has some skills inside here, right? So for instance, number 1, being able to summon some skills. This was basic Doctor Strange, how he came into the game. Skills kind of looked pretty good. They seem more around the teleporting and time windows, so a little bit different inside of that. And they also had some of the, you can tell the names were somewhat similar inside there. You had the Master of the Mystic Arts, You can see the level 15 Master of the Mystic Arts, right? We have the images of Icon. We do have that skill inside of this game. Where is his images of Icon? I'm not sure where his images of Icon is. I can't particularly remember where they are, but he does have his images of Icon inside here. So the question is inside Marvel Future Fight, when we got those characters, every new uniform basically represented a new skill for those characters and a new power boost for them. Meaning that the uniforms themselves weren't just introduced with, you know, with the intent that the character was just going to have a look change. They had power-ups and changes. So this was with the most recent uniform that we got. And inside here for this uniform, we got a lot of things that came with that uniform. So for instance, he had an increase in skill damage that was 15% and an increase in bonus damage. And then you can see underneath here, he had 5 skill changes. And underneath these 5 skill changes, take a look at some of the things that are available to you inside there, right? So we had, for instance, the Rings of Ragador, right? Which is really probably one of the bread and butter skills of Doctor Strange. The Rings of Ragador. I use that skill pretty frequently because it does quite a bit of damage, and it lashes out at opponents from quite a bit of distance, so it's pretty damn good to use. It doesn't have a high guard break, but it's pretty damn good to use at 1381 damage. And you know, the range that it has a pretty significant range, especially when you consider that underneath the Masters of Mystic Curse, the circular shackles that I was using got significant nerf. Still pretty good, pretty decent, but it got a significant nerf. Inside there you can see Dimensional Shatter. You know, you can call it Dimensional Shatter inside here, and then you can call the Mirror Dimension one inside the Mirror Dimension Dimensional Lockdown inside here. We don't have any different one inside there. But let's take a look at the skills anyways, because you can basically see what I'm trying to get at here. And let's take a look at these skills that happen inside of Doctor Strange. So basically I summon one skill right here. Not too bad with my Rings of Ragador. There goes my Dimensional Lockdown, or my, you know, my dimensional ability. You see it, it looks pretty cool, right? I love the way it looks inside that animation. We go 3, which is the Eldritch Sword. It's a little bit of better animation on this Eldritch Sword inside here. And then we go 4, and I think 4 was basically the Gateway Summoning. And then we have 5, Doctor Strange summon up some really nice psychedelic stuff inside here. And then you have an ultimate skill inside here, and this is going to be your images of Icon right here. Doctor Strange basically summons multiples of him. They pop out, and they basically all summon a gateway launch and do some nice significant damage to characters. Yeah, you see the damage going off the chart there, right? So I'm going to exit that skill preview. So what is that to say, and what did I bring up by showing this stuff? Marvel Future Fight wasn't always this game, and it's definitely been through its ups, its downs, and its, you know, it's good, it's bads, and it's uglies. And if you were, like I said to you in the previous video, if you were to go do any search for anything right now, you'd probably be able to find some kind of, you know, boycott against Marvel Future Fight, Marvel Strike Force, and even Marvel Contest of Champions. And you will see that there's always been some point where the player base hasn't been extremely happy with the developers have put before them. That's not to say that anything's wrong with, you know, Marvel Future Revolution in its current inception. Or not wrong, rather. I do believe there's a lot of things that are wrong that can be fixed, and we'll have to look towards to launch to basically see what those things are. Now, outside of just character development, the point that I bring up by showing you these characters, or at least showing you, at least showing you Doctor Strange, is that there's a whole bevy of characters in here. Like, one of the things I hit on, one of the goods about the game is character feel. You know, whether you feel the heroicness of the character, whether you feel like you're actually playing, you know, that character, or like you're engaged with Doctor Strange, the bondedness that you have to the Doctor Strange brand at Marvel Studios, right? That is one of the things. And when you look at what Marvel Games has done across all of its titles, I do mean all of its titles, and see the bevy of characters that they've added inside the game. Right here, you can see I've got Odin equipped. I've got Silver Fox inside here, or White Fox rather, excuse me. And I even got Ghost Rider sitting inside here. And each of these characters have multitudes of uniforms. Like, I mean, Ghost Rider, I think, has probably like, yeah, he's got 4 of them. I think, yeah, it was just 4. I thought he had more. And they're pretty cool looking uniforms, you know, like, come on, that looks dope as hell. Could you imagine that in Marvel Future Revolution? I mean, you even got classic Ghost Rider inside there. He looks pretty damn cool himself. So across the landscape, you can see that the games basically in themselves sell themselves because we all want to see certain characters. Across Marvel Future Fight, I think there's some 300. Are we at 300 yet? Where are we at? 230. I think it's 230 characters. 230 characters, I believe it is, that we've totally got. I went 300 for some odd fucking reason, but no, it's 200 something characters inside the game, you know, all the way from, you know, fan favorites like Thanos to you name it, to the X-Men characters, with Storm sitting inside the game, where we just got her most recent look, which was, you know, snazzy as hell. And I would love to see we've actually got this Storm inside the game as well already. So there's a whole bevy of characters that we're going to end up being able to play this content with. Now the question is, where does this content go and how does it grow? And in that regard, I want to kind of point out to you guys the content development from Marvel Future Fight. And what I mean by that is I'm going to show you basically inside this game, while we are currently in Marvel Future Revolution looking at Baby Blitz, Most Wanted, Special Operations, Battle Challenge, and Raid as your PvE content. That's pretty much 5 modes that you have to play. And then you have Omega War, Dimension Duel, and Dark Zone for your PvP content. The sad part is that Omega War, Dimension Duel, and Dark Zone pretty much take up the, you know, the in-game content inside the game. Like, Raid is pretty much your only mode of PvE content that you have, and once you eclipse a certain power level, it doesn't really quite feel like PvE content. But if you look to my right here, you can see that there's a whole host of things inside Marvel Future Fight. There's event missions. So for instance, we got inside the game, we ended up with legendary battles that were akin to they're basically story mode missions that were akin to all the movies. So when Thor Ragnarok came out, we've got this legacy mission that had a number of story mode chapters inside there. So if I went inside Marvel's store, I've got the battle against Sakaar Hulk. I got, you know, Day to Dead with Valkyrie fighting off. I got the battle against Fenris, Hulk versus Fenris. I ended up having Scourge versus Loki. And even at the end, the battle on the Bifrost Bridge with Hela battling against Thor. I'll even show it to you inside here. So we can see aspects of where they could take development for this game. Now, this is a quick set piece battle, and they could probably do more of this inside of Marvel Future Revolution. This is going to be pretty quick because it's normal mode. So you can see that I'm joined by Loki, Valkyrie, and Hulk on the bridge here, and we're just basically fighting against Hela on the bridge. And I'm giving some rewards that basically amounts to a legendary box, which can have, like, you know, gold, character bios and things like that or whatever. Bay Silk is sitting over here, member of the Spider Universe, with a Summer Suit Edition costume inside here. When you look at the game on a whole, so for instance, like going through this list, I've already played Timeline Battle, which is basically you have 3 characters. Let's see, close that, get ready, refill the entry. You have 3 characters. Your 3 character battles against another 3 characters, and a daily 10 count for those. Refill entries are there, right? So that's that would equate to basically your daily dimension duels, right? Except that you actually play. A lot of what's in Marvel Future Fight is autoplay, right? Which I understand because it's a mobile game, right? So then we go inside co-op play, for instance, and this is where you just deploy characters with other heroes or other people, and you fight varying stages across, you know, the Marvel universe with the characters that you have, and, you know, you go across and you just generate rewards. I look at, you know, the blitz mode as somewhat similar to this. It feels like a cross between, like they've amalgamated certain modes inside this game to get to these. If you looked at Alliance Battle is a really popular mode where the alliance is basically working together. As an individual, you fight against the Frost Beast in various forms and stuff like that, and try to get a high score inside those battles. You can see my alliance here. We're not like the best alliance or anything. I don't even think that we have that many players inside of our alliance, but you know, it's a group of people that I've been playing this game with forever. And basically inside Alliance Battle, you know, guilds are basically battling for the top, and when you get there, you have alliance on alliance fights, which is where I think Dark Zone should have gone, where Dark Zone should have been alliance versus alliance inside battle space, battling over. So it should have been, like, in my opinion, like a tug of war kind of game mode, where it was like, okay, well, you know, we're gonna put everybody inside this. We know that we want it to be alliance PvP, and you know what, we'll just have like a singular spawn boss that happens, and alliances have to battle over, you know, those bosses. So it should have, to me, Dark Zone should have probably been relegated to that, because in its current incarnation, it feels like a mess. It doesn't feel right for, you know, non-free-to-play players to jump in there and be battling with pay-to-play players. And inside this regard, you know, here I can join in on what we have in this game, which is called Alliance Conquest, which happens every weekend. So at pretty much, yes, pretty much every weekend you can change the schedule of it, and you get those. So for instance, like I go through here, I have co-op play, which is a PvE mission. I have World Boss Invasion, which is pretty fun. You know, I battle against various bosses, almost similar to the raids inside here, but these are not quite raids. These are field missions. So I liken these to Most Wanteds, right? Where I can literally go inside here. It gives me some conditions for which I want to battle characters. So it wants me to fight with more than 4 characters, so I can select combat characters inside here. I'm going to choose to play with Venom, and we'll just throw in some other characters that I don't really care about. And we need to access, yeah, sure, go ahead, bro. I just had to reinstall this in order to get it working on BlueStacks. Future Fight doesn't seem to work well with BlueStacks. I probably should be using LD Player. But basically, when you go inside here, it's you paired with 2 other players, co-op battle mode, and you fight a boss. Now in this it's not difficult at all. It's really not, especially when you have high level characters. It really isn't that difficult. You see how quick that went. But and you kind of hope that Marvel Future Revolution doesn't get there, but you know, it could. And you're given some rewards inside there. It's pretty damn simple in terms of the battle modes, right? But as you play through the game modes, you can kind of see that there is a bevy of content that they can come up with. Giant Boss Raid. I like in this one the most to Blitz, because it's a live it's pretty much like that player versus environment event, but I get co-opted and enjoyed players joining in on me. So I'm battling against a master mold. I always love to use my no, definitely not Cap. I like to use Black Bolt, King of the Inhumans, right? And I pair him up with Medusa, his wife, and then I usually just pair up some other universal hero. But you can jump in here, you know, and literally generate rewards by simply inviting other players to play. And you jump in across this battle space, and you have these characters that they can battle as Sentinels. So when I look at the game modes inside Marvel Future Fight, you know, a lot of it is geared towards single players. Not having to worry about simply playing with other players in order to, you know, generate rewards and have a good time. Whereas opposed inside Marvel Future Revolution, everything is about interconnectivity. You know, whether I'm playing with or without someone, it's weird. But the point is that you can see with inside the game that it's the same developer, guys. It's the exact same developer. Netmarble is the developer for the game. You're going to have to look at this at some point. Like I know, like I said, a lot of people are comparing the game to other games inside Netmarble's inventory and other games like, you know, other MMO RPG mobile games that they've seen, like Genshin Impact. It's not that. Let's be honest. compare it to something that's actually there. So for instance, I'm gonna do a reaction video. There was some news today that people had basically data mined, yeah, it's gonna crash on me. People had data mined, I knew that was going to end up happening. I had this worry that was going to happen. They had data mined that Falcon and Scarlet Witch, and I'll do a separate video on that one, was going to come out. Most likely that just happened because I have so many games up. Like I've got Black Desert running in the background. I've got both two versions of BlueStack open with both games. I knew it was going to kind of crash. But when I look at Marvel Future Fight makes me hopeful for Marvel Future Revolution, and the fact that I know that they have the assets in order to make this game successful, and they have the ability to bring us features that we really want. You know, some of my favorite features being that you get to play inside a lot of Marvel Future Fight are being things like, you know, your World Boss Legend battles, where you get to square off against members of the Black Order, Mephisto and Null, and even some of the X-Men characters. They're really, really fun set piece battles, similar to the raids, right? I can jump inside Shadowland and try to clear stages all the way up to like level 150, you know, and that's basically singular boss battles, similar to the battle challenge, right? I can jump inside of arena PvE battles, and I have my timeline battles. I have my danger room battles, which are live, you know, player versus environments where we're trying to co-op and compete. I have Alliance Battle. I have Alliance Conquest, where we can compete against other alliances inside this arena, which is a really cool mode if you have a good alliance to play with. There's even Alliance Tournament. And then we have co-op modes, you know, co-op play, World Boss Invasion, Giant Boss Raid, which changes on the weekend to basically battling Galactus. So when I look at what Netmarble can bring to the table for Marvel Future Revolution, it makes me excited because I've been playing Marvel Future Fight for I don't know how many years, and I love the game and the host of characters that I cannot wait to see. They have the assets, they have the ability. This is a more hopeful sounding video than the other one. Just like I said, my main thing that I wanted to come across inside the other video is that right now in the place that it is, they've got things that they need to work out while they go into launch. Does it mean the game is unplayable? No, it's not. Clearly, people have been enjoying it for at least a month, you know, going on a month now, I guess it has been, right? Since the soft launch has begun, that so much so that they've basically, well, I know Netmarble knows that people are using emulators to jump into this game. There's no way they don't know that. Which is probably why the soft launch, the global launch, has gotten pushed up, right? So yeah, overall, I think that there's a lot that can come to Marvel Future Revolution. I don't think that there's, you know, reason to sound the alarm bells and say this game is dead on arrival. I don't think there's reason to be overly concerned with what things are going to be. I definitely feel like some of these, you know, cash shop item, drop rate items, things are typical Netmarble kind of tactics where they push things to the limit to make you pissed off, and then no players are going to complain, so then they teeter it back to the level that they actually wanted to get you at. And I've played some of Netmarble's games for long enough to know that. Like, I played 7 Deadly Sins, I played Lineage, I played Marvel Future Fight, and I've seen them do it over and over and over again. So be aware of that. I think there's a lot that's going to be in there. If you are looking to see what possibly can be in order to raise your spirits about, you know, about Marvel Future Revolution, download Marvel Future Fight. Take a look at it. Check it out. See what's what all is inside there. There's quite a bit in there. See what some of the store rewards are, some of the store options that are inside there for purchasing things. It'll give you an idea of, you know, what might come inside this game, you know, in terms of, like, you know, monetary values and stuff like that. You can take a look at, for instance, like some of the currency purchase items where it's like, hey, I want 330 crystals, you know, all the way up to 1,100 crystals for this game, and it's going to cost me $100. 5,500 crystals cost me $49.99. So it's a little bit different in terms of the currency evaluation, but not too far off in terms of those things. Ultimately, I feel like it's going to be one of those decision sets where you have to look at the game and decide how your wallet meets the game. You can fully play the game free to play and not have a problem. and enjoy the game fully. I'm playing free to play now, and I'm still enjoying the game very much. I will say that there's a couple of items inside the store that will ease your life if you on day one when you go inside there. And I would say that the Alpha Future membership, the Omega Future membership, those things are highly worth purchasing to jump inside there. There's some other bundles inside there, the perks bundles. Like, don't buy any of these trash items right here, but basically you're gonna have Alpha and Omega one-time purchases that you can use outside of the Alpha Future membership. They're not showing up right now because I've already purchased them, but they're going to be squad rank bonuses that come up. So like you can see, it's the all player bundles. It's the Omega, the daily perks. Yeah, they're not showing because I already purchased them and I collected them all, but it's going to be the equivalent to these, where it'll be squad rank. Those bonuses are worth purchasing inside the store on day one because they're definitely going to help you get ahead of the curve just a little bit, and they really weren't that expensive in my mind for, you know, initial investment into the game. All that to say, guys, take a look at Marvel Future Fight if you're really worried about where this game could be headed and where it is. I'm going to release another video probably to kind of look at the idea of Falcon and Scarlet Witch possibly coming to the game at global launch or shortly thereafter, and my opinion about it. I've seen some other YouTubers do it, and you know, I want to give you guys a little bit more insight because I definitely have my thoughts about it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope it brings you more joy than my last 4 videos, which are probably more doom and gloom. Until then, guys, peace.